나연대 Namaste Saraswati Devi Hare Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Welcome everybody to our Sunday Feast program. Bienvenue à tous au festin du dimanche. On aimerait remercier notre commanditaire qui aimerait rester anonyme. So we'd like to thank tonight's sponsor who wishes to remain anonymous. We can give them a round of applause for sponsoring tonight's feast. So a few announcements in the coming weeks. We do have two beautiful events taking place. So next Wednesday, December 11th, it is the appearance day, the day of Gita, the day of the Bhagavad Gita. So Gita Jayanti, and it is also Ekadashi. So Wednesday, December 11th, around the world, devotees gather together to read the Bhagavad Gita. This is a beautiful, auspicious day where the Lord himself spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So ISKCON Montréal will be hosting a reading session for the Bhagavad Gita. So it will take place from 3 p.m. going on until 7 p.m. So 4 hours dedicated to the Bhagavad Gita. So from 3 to 7, they will be reading the shloka, verses, and the translations for 4 continuous hours. And then they will have Gaura Aarti and of course a beautiful Ekadashi feast. So we do invite everybody to please take part. It is always so nice to read all together. It is nice to read by yourself, but it is also more nicer to read all together in the association of the devotees. So please come for that. Alors, il y a 2 événements qui se passent. Le premier, le mercredi prochain, le 11 décembre, c'est l'apparition du Shri Bhagavad Gita. C'est la journée où Seigneur Krishna a parlé le Bhagavad Gita à Arjuna sur les champs de Kurukshetra. Alors, cette journée-là, on vous invite chaleureusement à venir le 11 décembre, à lire avec nous, avec les dévots, à lire le Bhagavad Gita. On va lire le livre entier, on fait juste les versets et la traduction. Pour cette occasion, ISKCON Montréal va aussi avoir une session en français et en anglais pour les dévots qui aimeraient lire en français le Bhagavad Gita. Alors, Prabhu s'arrange pour cela de le faire. Alors, si jamais les dévots francophones, vous aimeriez lire le Bhagavad Gita en association avec les dévots, contactez Prabhu. L'heure va être la même de 3 à 7 heures. Alors, on aura une session pour les dévots qui aimeraient lire en anglais et une session aussi pour les dévots qui aimeraient lire en français. On vous invite chaleureusement à venir le 11 décembre et lire avec nous de 3 à 7 heures. C'est Ekadashi, alors après la lecture de Bhagavad Gita, on aura le Gaura Aarti à 7 heures et par la suite un merveilleux festin d'Ekadashi pour célébrer l'occasion du Bhagavad Gita. So of course, please come. We'll have the Gita bilingually done, so in English, of course, hosted by the devotees, and of course in French. So you have your options on which way you want to read the Bhagavad Gita with us. On December 14th, it is our annual fundraising dinner, and the date is approaching very quickly. We are in the last month of this glorious year. A lot has happened, and we want to end the year very beautifully. So we do invite you all to take part in our annual fundraising dinner falling on December 14th. As you know, this is Srila Prabhupada's 3rd establishment. Srila Prabhupada built ISKCON Montréal. This is ISKCON Montréal. ISKCON Montréal is the 3rd temple that Srila Prabhupada founded. So it is very dear to Srila Prabhupada, it is very dear to Radha Manohar, and it is very dear to us all. So it is thanks to your support that we are able to maintain this beautiful temple, that we are able to serve this beautiful temple. And many times every year we do ask for your support, and your support can come in the form of donation for this glorious occasion. So December 14th, we invite you all to please come starting at 5 p.m. going on till about 7:30 p.m. We'll have a Kirtan, Gaura Aarti at 5:30, Prasad, a vote of thanks, Prasad, and then another second Aarti at 7 for the pleasure of Radha Manohar, and then more devotee association. So we do invite you all to come for that. I'll let Samir explain, and then I will also say it in French in a few minutes.
Thank you, Gaura. I think you explained very nicely. And again, I'd like to thank all of you who have donated. Many of you like to remain anonymous. And I do appreciate your help. And this is the once a year we do that, this fundraising dinner. And I have some tickets here still available. And anybody who is interested, they can always contact me.
Alors bien sûr, le 14 décembre, c'est le souper annuel de ISKCON Montréal. Alors le 14 décembre tombe un samedi. À chaque année, on fait ce merveilleux souper, ce merveilleux festival pour le plaisir de Srila Prabhupada et le Seigneur, et bien sûr pour votre plaisir en même temps. Alors de 5h allant jusqu'à 8h le soir, on aura ce merveilleux programme Comme je disais en anglais, ce temple, ISKCON Montréal, ça fait plus de 50 ans qu'il existe. C'est le 3e établissement que Srila Prabhupada a fondé. Alors c'est très cher à Srila Prabhupada, c'est très cher au Seigneur. Et on vous invite chaleureusement à supporter ce merveilleux temple sous forme de donation et sous forme d'association. Le 14 décembre, c'est grâce à votre support qu'on peut continuer à servir la mission de Srila Prabhupada et Srila Prabhupada lui-même. Alors on vous invite chaleureusement à participer pour cette occasion-là. Vous pouvez voir Samir qui vient faire les annonces pour donner votre contribution. Les contributions peuvent se faire en ligne aussi. Si jamais vous voulez plus de détails, venez me voir et je pourrai vous aider. Sinon, vous pouvez donner votre donation en personne à Samir Prabhu. Le programme va commencer à 5h avec du Kirtan. Par la suite, on aura Gaura Aarti à 5h30 spécialement, suivi par des annonces. Un merveilleux festin et bien sûr un deuxième Aarti à 7h et plus d'associations pour les dévots. Alors venez vous amuser avec nous, s'il vous plaît, avec nous cette merveilleuse occasion. Le 14 décembre. C'est tout que j'ai pour vous. Alors ce soir, la classe en français, alors cela, je vais juste inviter Emile Prabhu à faire les annonces et par la suite, on va annoncer les classes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. So we're 1st December, so we finished the month of November. Donc on est le 1er décembre et on a terminé le mois de novembre. Et donc je voulais vous annoncer le score de livres pour le ISKCON Montréal pour le mois de novembre. So I wanted to introduce the book score for ISKCON Montreal for the month of November. So we start with those. So the devotees in Montreal distributed 220 books of this size. 10 books of this size. 25 books like this. And 132 books like this. En français, 220 livres de cette taille-là, 10 livres de cette taille-là, 25 livres de cette taille-là et 132 livres de cette taille-là pour un grand total de 387 pour le total 387. So distribution is very dear to Srila Prabhupada, la distribution de livres très chère à Srila Prabhupada. Et donc, on voulait aussi vous inviter pour le mois de décembre. Ça va être un moment très spécial pour pouvoir s'introduire à la distribution de livres. So I wanted to personally invite you. If you never did book distribution before, or you never had the opportunity, this month of December is very crucial, is very a good opportunity that we offer you. So we can please Srila Prabhupada, and not only that, but we can feel Krishna's blessing throughout the process, and we can go closer to the spiritual world and advance in spiritual life. Donc, c'était une opportunité que j'aimerais ça vous tendre pour le mois de décembre, si ça vous intéresse de participer à la distribution de livres. On a mis des posters dans l'entrée. Vous pouvez voir le Prabhupada Marathon. The marathon of Prabhupada. So this month it will be the Prabhupada Marathon. So you can get a little bit know more what's happening this month. Because all around the world, people are devotees, especially are distributing Prabhupada's book. Donc tous les dévots à travers le monde distribuent les livres de Prabhupada. Et donc tous les samedis à 1h, on va se rejoindre au temple pour s'introduire à la distribution de livres. So every Saturday at 1 p.m. Throughout the whole month of December, we'll come here at the temple to introduce book distribution. So thank you very much, Mr. Hare Krishna.
I do want to add on that, given that the Advent of Bhagavad Gita is coming up next Wednesday, it is the perfect opportunity to see Prabhu and sponsor Bhagavad Gita either for devotees so that they can distribute it. So another way of supporting the book distribution and Srila Prabhupada's mission is sponsoring books, and I know devotees appreciate that enormously. So if ever you wish to help, either by distributing books yourself, you can also help out and support this beautiful mission by sponsoring books, and then devotees can simply give them out. Our amazing Kirtan team can also give those books out. So if you you want to sponsor a book, please see email Prabhu to do so. Alors bien sûr, si vous voulez commencer le livre, c'est aussi une forme de service que vous pouvez faire. Si vous êtes gêné d'aller distribuer les livres, vous pouvez aussi distribuer les livres en forme de commanditer les livres. Alors simplement voir email Prabhu, c'est quelque chose que les dévots aiment faire aussi, commanditer des livres. Comme ça, on utilise l'argent pour les livres et on peut les donner gratuitement aux gens publics. Alors, si jamais ça vous intéresse, juste voir email Prabhu et il pourra donner plus d'informations sur cela. Alors, on vient à la classe. La classe en français ce soir va être donnée par sa grâce Vedavyas Prabhu, and the English class tonight will be given by His Grace Lakshmana Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
All glories to the Son of Buddhis and Krishna, glories to the Son of Buddhis and Krishna, all glories to the Son of Buddhis and Krishna, glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gaura. Om Vishnu Prabhu, Krishna Prasad, Shri Mati Bhakti, Vedanta Swami, Namaste, Sarvati, Gaura, Namaste, Namaste, Shri Mati, Prasad, Namaste. So thank you for coming to the temple. We're very fortunate that we have the interest in Krishna. Manushyanam Sahasreshu, Krishna says, out of thousands, hardly one is interested in Krishna. And we see that. They're interested in politics, in sports, the economy, global warming, so many things. But so very little interest in Krishna. They'd rather water the leaves. We'd rather water the root. Karama Karam Krishna. Krishna is the root. So if you water the root of the tree, of the plant, then the tree will grow. And if you just water the leaves, the tree will die. And we're seeing that. The society is dying more and more every day. There's more disruption. And we're still fortunate because there's still natural resources that Krishna created. But we're exploiting those resources so rapidly that everything's going up more and more. And the greed and lust is going up more and more, and therefore everything is dwindling. And it's to be expected because it's Kali Yuga. Just like now the winter's coming, we're seeing the symptoms. We're wearing sweaters now, no more short leaves. A few who are austere may still have short leaves, but most people are wearing sweaters and jackets and hats, and pretty soon be wearing winter boots and winter tires and everything. So Kali Yuga is described to be the winter, the 4 seasons. Everything closes down like in the winter. People don't want to stay very long outside in the winter, it's too cold. So here we have a verse in the 5th chapter, text 13. Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. This is text 13. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this particular verse, Sarva Karmani Manasa Sannyasasti Sukham Vasi Nava Dvare Pure Dehi Naiva Karma Nakarayam. When the embodied, living being controls his nature and mentality, renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. So purport by Srila Prabhupada, the embodied soul lives in the city of 9 gates. The activities of the body, or the figurative city of the body. In other words, the descriptive, the body is compared to a city of 9 gates. Just like you have a city, a fortress, and there are many gates, many walls to protect that city or that palace. Our conducted automatically by its particular modes of nature. Modes of nature means the modes of ignorance, the modes of passion, and the modes of goodness. That influence us. It's like wearing a pair of glasses. You wear a glass that's yellow, red, or blue, you'll see the colors of that nature, although they're not actually there. But because of the glasses you wear, it has that influence on you. So those modes of nature influence us differently, and they're symptoms of those who are in the mode of ignorance, those who are in the mode of passion. Sometimes we say to someone, man, you're really passionate. It means he's super hyper, super active, right? So we can see those modes acting upon everyone. The soul, although subjecting himself to the conditions of the body, can go beyond those conditions, if he so desires, owing only to forgetfulness of his superior nature. He identifies with the material body and therefore suffers. Of course, we don't really see we're going to suffer. We think we're going to enjoy it. We think this body will be the boat, the vessel of our enjoyment. And we anticipate and we hope everyone will enjoy it because we say to everyone, have a nice day. Right? We're always happy birthday. Right? Happy New Year. We're always hoping that there'll be some happiness in this material world. But Krishna says the opposite. What does Krishna say? Does he say Happy New Year, Happy Birthday? And he says, Vikalayama Shasakam. Krishna says this material world is padam padam, navi padam natesha. That at every step, you'll suffer. At every step. And we see this with the government. Our government, what are they trying to do? They're trying to alleviate the misery. And everyone is knocking on the door of the government. Please, sir, give us more help, more money for health, hospitals, Medicare. We need more money. There's not enough money in the budget. Okay. Then please, sir, knock on the door. Please help the poor. Okay. Please help people who are materially distressed, either mentally handicapped, intellectually handicapped, or depressed, or suicidal, or so. Okay. Sir, please. Everyone is knocking on the door of the government. And the government needs more money and more money. So they have to tax people more and more and more. And it's a vicious circle. And then when they need to get elected, well, they promise more mirrors. Here's a mirror, and you can look at the moon. Here's the moon. I'm offering you the moon. I'm offering you the sun. So take a mirror and look at it. Here it is. Here's the sun. So although they're trying their best, we don't want to mock them. They're trying their best to try to solve the problem. But the real problem is what? Chaitanya Prabhu says, Cheto Darpanam Marjanam. Unless there's a cleansing of the heart, unless the heart becomes pure, you can dump as much money as you want to it. You'll never resolve it. Why? Avritam Kyanamikenam, Kyanamikevarinam, Kama Rupenam, Uteya, Dusporanam, Krishna says, because there's lust and greed. So lust and greed is considered like a fire. And dumping money on the fire means the fire will just go bigger. You cannot extinguish a fire by throwing wood at it. You have to throw water at it. The rain, when it comes, then it extinguishes the forest fire. Otherwise, it's very difficult to extinguish that fire. There is a blazing. So what is that cloud? That cloud is the mercy of God that comes in the form of the holy name. If we want to cleanse our heart, we have to experience some spirit, something that will overcome that lust and greed. So we have to experience a higher taste. Krishna says, by experiencing higher taste, something better, you'll give up the lower taste. So this name of Krishna is not ordinary, it's not material. Although it's a material sound vibration, it's material, but it's actually coming from the spiritual world. Directly from the Lord Vrindavan. Because it's not Vishnu. Vishnu is Vaikuntha, but Krishna is Golok Vrindavan. not Vaikuntha. This material world is Kunta, the place of misery, and Vaikuntha means no misery. But we want to go even beyond that. You may be suffering, and that you take one aspirin, one painkiller. That's good. It'll remove the pain, but it will not cure the pain. You need something better, something that will antibiotic, something that will actually kill the disease. So our process is not just that I want shanti, I want peace. No, we want bhakti, we want love. We want to develop love for Krishna. To the point where there's not any interference with that love. Therefore in Vaikuntha, there's interference. What is that interference in Vaikuntha? We know that Krishna, Vishnu Narayan is God. That's an interference. Why is that interfering if I know this personality is God? Because you cannot become intimate with that person. You cannot become friendly with that person. Because there's Aishwarya Bhav, there's reverence. Just like you cannot become familiar with a king, you cannot become familiar with a judge. You can't go to court and say, hey, a minute here, the judge, I want to say something here. No. There's a protocol you have to follow, very strictly. If not, the judge can put you in contempt. When he says you cannot speak, you have to remain silent. If you keep speaking, okay, you're in contempt. $1,000 fine. Oh, you want to continue speaking? Okay, 2 days in jail. Take him away. So in Vaikuntha, that Aishwarya is there. But in Vrindavan, there is no. The devotees don't even want to know that Krishna is God. They love him only for what he is, not what he represents. And therefore, they can steal Krishna's lunch. Mother Yashoda can tie Krishna to a grinding. Krishna can be chastised by his friends. Sometimes when they play, Krishna loses, so he has to carry one of his coward friends on his shoulders. Like that. So the intimacy is so intense, the love is so intense, that they forget that Krishna is God, and Krishna forgets that he's God. Even Krishna doesn't want to even know that he's God. Forget it. There's so much love that level of existence doesn't exist in Vrindavan. So these modes of nature, they affect everyone. And because we have the desire to enjoy this material world, we ourselves want to remain here, even though we're suffering. Because we're under the illusion that there might be some pleasure. And we often give this example. It's just like if you go to see a movie and you bring a friend who's already seen the movie and he starts describing the movie as it's playing. And you'll turn around and say what to that person? Shut up. Right? Because he's killing you. You can't enjoy the movie. He's telling you now they're going to this is going to happen, now they're going to kill this guy. Now it's like, hey, come on. How do you want me to enjoy this movie if you're telling me everything about it? So when Krishna comes and tells us about the nature of the material world, what do we say? Krishna, please shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to read Bhagavad Gita. I don't want to read the scriptures because I want to be in that illusion of enjoying the movie. And Krishna says, okay, you want to enjoy this movie? I'll give you a nice costume. There it is, a nice costume. You can play whatever role you want. You can imagine yourself to be rich, to be beautiful, to be man, to be woman, to be black, to be white, to be this, to be that. Whatever you want in our illusion. And please, here's the stage, and perform your act, and try to enjoy it. And we think, yes, I will enjoy it. But because it's not our nature, and because it's just fictitious, there's no enjoyment. The drama goes on and the actors play, but after the play, if the actor still thinks he's that person, that I'm the king, we say, cuckoo. Hey, get out of the role here. You were playing, but you're not a king. You're not this, whatever role you were playing, that is not your role. If someone is playing a role in the movie that is a police officer, then he starts walking on the street and telling people what to do with his fake uniform, he'll get arrested. Because he's not a real police officer. He can be during the movie, but after the movie, he's not officially a real police. So we're trying to play these roles of enjoyment, but that's not what we are. And you can say, well, whatever. Krishna said, Jivere Sarupaya Nitya Krishna Das, that we're the eternal servants of Krishna. Yeah, but I want to be the master. I don't want to be the servant. I want to be a master. But think about it. There's an advantage of being a servant. Because by being a servant, you get protected. That's why everyone in us here living in Canada, what do? We pledge loyalty to our government, especially foreigners who've come to Canada. If you want to become a Canadian citizen, you have to pledge loyalty to Canada. So why do we do that? Because we get protected. We can't have hospitals at our homes. When I get sick, I appreciate that the government has hospitals. If there's any fire, I can call the firemen and they'll come and extinguish the fire. If I want to go to work, the government will pave the roads and build the bridges. So therefore, there's a consequence to that. It's like a tenant. Maybe some of you are tenants. And some of us maybe we're landlords in the sense we own our own homes. So when you're a tenant, some people don't want to own a home. They don't want to buy a house. Because there's too much trouble. I have an apartment, I pay my rent, boss, that's it. I don't have to cut the grass, I don't have to worry if the roof is leaking, if something's busted, this happened, that. It's not my property. And I can live in this apartment, and I have some rights, but I know it's not my apartment. I don't own it, but I can live in it. So this is what Krishna is talking about. You can act, but without actually acting. You can work, but without actually working. How is that? Well, it's like living in that apartment. You're entitled to live in that apartment, but you don't own that apartment. And you can say, no, but I bought my house. I own my house. Well, not really. Who owns the house? The banks. Because you owe a mortgage. You don't pay your mortgage, the bank will seize your house. Then, who else owns the property? The city. You want to water the lawn? No. You have to wait certain days, certain hours. You want to cut a tree? Get a permit. You want to change a window? Get a permit. Anything you want to do, you need a permit from the city. And if the government decides to put a railroad track or a gas pipe, across your land, like maybe some of you know, but when they built the Mirabel airport, we have Dorval Airport and we have the Mirabel Airport. So many farmers were excavated. They had to sell their land to the government to build an airport. They had no choice. So nothing actually belongs to us. It's all an illusion. So, but on the other hand, we have that protection, as I was mentioning. The government makes sure that you have facility to get educated. If you're sick, you have hospitals. So there are many things. Therefore, we pay allegiance to our government. So similarly, Krishna says, if you surrender to me, if you abandon, if you surrender to me, I will give you shelter. What is that shelter that Krishna is offering? Is he going to open a hospital? Right? He's going to give us a blood transfusion when we're sick? No. But he's going to make sure that at the time of death, our soul, our spirit soul within us, does not come back to this material world, to this hellish place of material existence. That is the real solution to our problems. In the winter, like now, some Canadians, Quebecois, they go to Florida to avoid the winter. Here, yeah, you can avoid the winter to some extent. You can have a nice shovel or snowblower or nice mitts and nice hat, but you're still going to deal with winter. If you don't want to deal with winter, you go to Florida. So if you don't want to deal with any misery, get out of here. This is a place of misery. Go back to the place where there is no misery, which is the kingdom of God, the spiritual world. So that is up to us. How much are we ready to realize recognize that reality. That this material, and even you say, yeah, but I don't have any misery. I got the most beautiful wife. I mean, I got beautiful children. I'm well educated. I make $250,000, $300,000 a year. I have a nice car. Okay, but for how long? 100 years? Maybe if you're really lucky. 90 years? Yeah, 80 years? Yeah, you're getting close. Most people die around 80. So calculate how old you are now, give yourself that time. I'm 68, so how many more years? I've got 12 years left, if I'm lucky. So that's just the reality. And no one's going to be able to do anything. Even the doctor himself will have to die. Doctor, cure thyself. He won't be able to cure himself after a certain point. Right? So that's just the reality. And that's 100%. We take life insurance, we take car insurance, we take fire insurance, theft insurance, in case someone may burglarize our house, we may have a car accident, something happened. But that's not sure. I've been paying insurance my whole life, never had an accident yet, so I'm kind of wasting a lot of my money here, right? But for sure I'm going to die. That is for sure. So what is going to be our preparation? What are we preparing for that? So that's what Krishna is saying here. Just prepare, be intelligent about it, prepare yourself. How are you going to do that? Well, if you surrender to me, if you surrender to Krishna. If you acknowledge at least that everything belongs to Him. Just like you acknowledge that your apartment belongs to your landlord, you're entitled to live there, but you've got to pay your rent. So, I'm entitled to certain things. But Krishna says what? Patram pushpam palam toyam tumibhakya pranashyati. That you can eat, but just offer it to me before. Because I provided that for you. Just like the landlord, he's providing the apartment for you. So, in return, you have to pay rent. So Krishna's providing all these things. Now they have this ridiculous idea of evolution, some concocted idea. But I'll just ask you one question. How does a flower know that purple exists and decides that I'm going to be a purple flower? Or a yellow flower? How does that evolution take place? And then is able to design it to be that color. We human beings can't even do that, and we're the most intelligent species on earth. Like if you build this building here, you'll need an engineer, you'll have to study the land to see how solid it is. You're going to have to study the size, make a design, get the materials, make sure the insurance, the insulation, how thick are the walls. So many things you have to consider just to build a little house. But we say, no, evolution just took place like that, just took off and there's no problem. And sometimes we realize, hey, we've made a mistake. But we have to go back and correct that mistake, because that won't fit. The pipe is too small. But this wire, like in the house, you have 212, 214, 210 wires. You gotta know which wire goes where. Right? If you put a 214 wire in a hot water tank, you'll melt the wire because it's too thin for that kind of capacity. Right? You can't put a 214 wire on an electric stove. You have to put the right wire and the right breakers. Otherwise, you'll have electrical problems. So all these things has to be figured out, and we're the most intelligent people. But how is it the little coronavirus can mutate? Can I mutate? Can you mutate? No. How does that do? So it's like, you got to look at this thing and realize how ridiculous it is. So it has to be someone who's very intelligent, who created everything, and that's God, that's Krishna. And if we're surrendering to so many things, why not surrender to Krishna? You have a car, you have a driver's license, but every second we're surrendering. I can't go drive the way I want. I have to look at the speed limits. I have to stop at the red lights. I have to stop at the sign. I have to yield here. So many restrictions are there when you're driving, and in any field. And then we try to claim that we're independent. We're not independent of anything. We can't stop stop our hair from growing, we can't stop our nails from growing, we can't stop the desire for eating. When it's time to sleep, we have to sleep. So we're Nityabada, Krishna says. We're eternally conditioned to so many restrictions. And we like to be free, Nityabada. In Quebec, they think, oh, we just made Quebec independent and we have a French language, that'll be independence. What kind of independence is going to be? You're still going to have to be subjected to everything else, even if you speak the so-called language French or English or whatever. So there's so many illusions that we create for ourselves, wanting to watch that movie, rather to say, well, this is an illusion, and watching this movie won't take me anywhere. When I get out of the theater, I had a good time, but nothing will have changed. My misery will still be there. So what we're talking about in Krishna consciousness is to make a real solution to our problems. And it may seem very simple, that, oh, I just surrendered to Krishna. But what is that stage? First of all, you understand I am not this body. If you realize you're not that body, that's very liberating. You hear a big crash outside, and you think, my God, it's my car. You run outside, you're like, oh, it's that car, it's not mine. So it's liberating. I mean, it's sad for that person, but it doesn't entail you directly because it wasn't your car. So when you realize you're not this body, you're a spirit soul within the body, that is very liberating. Then if you take to the process, right, of applying yourself to realize that, not just a theoretical application, but a practical application, right, then the lust and greed that I was talking earlier about will diminish. Because you'll realize that the pleasure doesn't come from blood and skin and bones. The pleasure comes from the soul. And I am a spirit soul. So your depression, your lack of self-esteem, all these different kinds of things, hang-ups that people have, washes away because you realize I have nothing to be embarrassed about. I'm not even this body. All of you are not even seeing me. You're seeing my body. You're not seeing my soul. You don't have the eyes. I don't have the eyes to see you, and you don't have the eyes to see me. And if I was dropped dead right now, you wouldn't see me leaving this body. You wouldn't see my soul leaving this body. All you'd see is a dead body all of a sudden. And what happened? Oh well, the heart stopped. Okay, pump the heart. Or the lungs. Okay, bring some oxygen and pump the lungs. And do whatever you want. You won't bring this body back to life. Because the soul has left. And that is what we are. We're spirit souls. But all of us, or many of us, are neglected. Society at large is neglecting that reality. And if I realize I'm a spirit soul, and you're a spirit soul, we have that in common. So why are we fighting for things that are useless? Right? Like if you go to a foreign country, if any of you have ever been to a foreign country, and you see someone from Quebec, hey, are you from Quebec? Yeah. Oh, really, you feel some identification. I'm from Quebec too. For which part? Well, I'm from Montreal. Oh, it's a small world. People talk like that. Immediately they feel connected, right? Because they're born in the same area. But when you see yourself as a spirit soul, connected with Krishna, you're able to be connected with the whole planet. And because there's no lust and greed, you also don't envy that person. You're happy. Hey, you got money, you got beauty, you got this. Great. Krishna gave you all that. You deserve it. And because I'm a spirit soul, I don't really need it. It's just an extra baggage. Why should I carry all these luggage, right? Of lust and greed and envy and jealousy and pride and all these things that we carry our whole life uselessly. That doesn't bring us desire for revenge. I'm going to get back at you and because you insulted me or you did this. We carry, I don't talk to you anymore because you did this to me or you did. But it wasn't yours in the beginning. Someone even stole the money, but it wasn't even your money to begin with. And what did they steal? It all belongs to God. So it's just an illusion, right? It's just energy being changed here and there. It's just the same energy going here and there. And I think I'm going to control this energy. But I'm Anu. I'm not Vibhu. Krishna is Vibhu. He's unlimited. And I'm Anu, the smallest. I'm like an atomic, particle. Spiritual atomic particle. What am I going conscious and you start seeing it from that perspective, it's very liberating. And as you chant Hare Krishna, as you experience a higher taste, and you experience this idea, this reality, that is spirit soul, then you don't have to try to satisfy the demands of the senses that are constantly pulling. As described in this verse, the 9 gates. What are those 9 gates? The 2 eyes, the 2 ears, the nose, the mouth, the anus, the genitals. These are the gates by which we conduct our activity. We defend ourselves with these things, at least we think we're going to. But also these things are pushing us constantly to see something beautiful, to hear something beautiful, to satisfy these senses that are always nagging us. I want more, and I want this, and I want that. And people get themselves in pretty deep trouble trying to satisfy their senses. But when you understand that you're a spirit soul, you realize that I'm not going to get any pleasure. The pleasure I'm going to get in this material world by scratching the itching sensation of my senses is like scratching a mosquito bite. When you have a mosquito bite, the tendency is you want to scratch it. And it feels good when you're scratching, but as soon as you let go, you stop, it's itching even more. And finally you scratch, and what happens? You rupture the skin and it starts bleeding. And you made it even worse. So what does Krishna say? You just tolerate that itching sensation while you're experiencing something higher. When you're experiencing something higher, then you'll give up the lower. You'll give up the lower pleasure because you're experiencing something much higher. So Krishna consciousness is not a downer, it's an upper. We're trying to go above the clouds to see the sun constantly. If you're below the clouds, you're subjected to, sometimes the clouds open, sometimes they close. So you're subjected to that conditioning. But when you go above the clouds, you're seeing the sun all the time. So we want to go above the cloud, we want to go above the modes of material nature, compassion, ignorance, and goodness, and come to the platform of Sudasattva, pure goodness. When you're at that level of consciousness, just like if you're able to see the sun constantly, there is no darkness for you. There's no ignorance for you. But because we're below the clouds, sometimes we have knowledge and sometimes we have ignorance. And when we're ignorant, what does the word ignorant means? We're ignoring it. Ignoring what? That I'm a spirit soul. And ignoring that all of you are also spirit soul. We're all connected. And therefore, on the Baltic platform, we start making distinction. Oh, you're American, you're Russian, you're Ukrainian, you're Jewish, you're Muslim, you're this, you're that, white, black. And therefore, there has to be fighting and quarrels. But if you understand you're a spirit soul, then we're all one, we're all in harmony. Because we have one thing in common, which is Krishna. So on the wheel, you have many spokes, but when you have the hub in the middle, it solidifies all the spokes, and the wheel can be very strong. So we're like little spokes of the wheel, running around in this material world, and if we have that hub that's holding us together, that is Krishna. So that is the important thing of becoming Krishna conscious. And we're all here, hopefully, trying to do that exactly, trying to become Krishna conscious, trying to inspire each other in that process of chanting Hare Krishna and following principles, of trying to become detached from the material world and attached to Krishna. And as Krishna explains, that effort will bring this whole material world condense or disappear like the calf, the footprint of a calf. Krishna describes this in the Bhagavad Gita, that this whole material world will become as small as the calf, the footprint of a calf. You can say, well, how that is possible? I mean, this world is so big, there's so many galaxies, universes, so forth. And how is it going to all shrink up to the size of a calf? Become so insignificant. But the state of our consciousness. We're giving value to this material world, but actually there's not much value here. We're the ones creating that value by our own presence. The fact that this soul, my soul is in my body, gives presence to this, my existence. my soul was to leave my body, how long are you going to keep this body here? If I was to die right now, how long are you going to keep my body here? A week? A month? No, not even an hour. Even though we carry it out to the morgue and either buried or burnt, right? Because the soul is not there anymore. This body has no more value. Even if I have a crown on my head, I may be a king, but if the soul leaves the body, that's it. So, how does that take place? It's like the sun. The sun is very far, but it looks like a little disc. And if you take your tongue and you bring it close to your eyelid, that can make it all disappear. So the closeness of things, or the further things away, makes it bigger or smaller. So as I increase my Krishna consciousness, because actually the spiritual world is 3/4 of the material world. Whatever exists in the material world is only one quarter of what exists in the spiritual world, actually. God's creation is not just this world, but there's another world Krishna describes in the Gita, which is spiritual. And that world is much bigger than this existence. So by absorbing myself in Krishna, I am diminishing the value of this material existence. Therefore my consciousness, this world becomes smaller because it becomes insignificant. All the petty things that goes on in the world won't be that interesting for me. I won't be curious about these things. Who won the hockey game? Who's the prime minister? Who's this? What concern does it have to me? Someone died in China, someone this one, they went to the moon. How is that changing anything in my life? But if I become Krishna conscious, that will change tremendously my existence. So therefore, by becoming Krishna conscious, I'm diminishing this existence and awakening the bigger existence, because that's where I want to be at the time of death. The time of death, because I'm a spirit soul and I'm eternal, I want to go to that place that is eternal, not the material world. Because if I reincarnate back here, again I'll have to go through birth, death, disease, and old age. Again, that cycle of samsara will continue. So if I want to end that cycle of samsara, then I have to make an arrangement by which I don't take birth again in the material world. And unlike the Buddhists, who try to attain nirvana by stopping all activity, all thoughts, because they know every action creates a reaction, the law of karma. So if you stop all activities, then there's no more reaction, there's no more karmic reaction. Good karma or bad karma. But how are you going to stop activity? Even breathing is an activity. So the only way you're going to do that, the only way we can do that, is by offering the fruits of our labor and our consciousness to Krishna. And therefore, by Krishna absorbing everything, then I don't have to pay the consequence, good or bad. That's what the instructions of Bhagavad Gita is all about. Krishna did not want to fight. He was attached to his family, the Kauravas. And Krishna says, you have to give it all up and just surrender to me. And fight, your Kshatriya, continue your work, but now don't do it for yourself, but do it for me. Do it out of love for me. So Krishna doesn't say we should stop our activities, but we should mold our lives in such a way that Krishna is added to our activity. And Prabhu often gave that example. If I give you a check and I only put zeros on that check has no value. But if I put a 1 in front, then you have 10, 100, 1,000. That 1 is Krishna. Eko bahunam nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yodita kamam. And only Krishna is nityo nityanam, the one who's maintaining everyone and supplying everyone all their necessities. So that is Krishna consciousness in a nutshell. This is what we're all trying to achieve. And it's a very pleasurable, it's not, depressing or a struggle. It's actually very joyful. It's joyfully performed. To chant Hare Krishna is actually a very joyful thing. If we get into it, we'll realize that name of Krishna is so extraordinary. Because Krishna says that he's invested all his energy, in that name. Just like if I give you $1,000, you automatically have $100, you have $10, you have $50. All that in that $1,000, it's all there. So within Krishna's name, everything is there. And as we realize that, as we chant it and we realize it, then we realize actually I have everything. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go anywhere. I can just chant Hare Krishna and be totally satisfied. 100%. More satisfied than I can even satisfy myself. Because now I have Krishna who's going to do it for me. It's like if you go on a bicycle, okay, maybe you can do 30 kilometers. But if you hold on to a truck, you can do 100 kilometers with no effort. So by holding on to Krishna, Krishna will make the arrangement that we'll be completely satisfied. We won't have to try to satisfy ourselves and make the effort to find pleasure. I remember before becoming a devotee, life was actually so boring. You work all week, you get paid, and then you figure out, well, what are we going to do now? It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. But what are we going to do now? Go see a movie? That's boring, I saw one. Now let's go play pool, let's go play this, let's do this. Everything was so boring. And then back Monday, back to work. And then you work all year, and you all finally 2 weeks vacation. Okay, what are we going to do now? Oh, let's go here. We'll go to France. Great. People from France are coming to Canada. So if it's so great, why are they coming here? Because they're bored there. So you're going there to see, something exciting. Right? But if you live next door to the Eiffel Tower, you're going to be that excited. You see it every day. But people fly there to see it. So this is the illusion of this material world. The mind is always looking for some novelty. But hear that same song 50 times, 100 times, you'll get bored. That's why people will change cars every year, they change furniture, and they change it. Because the material world is a boring place. Why is it boring? Because it's dead. This is dead. There's no more life in this. Although at one point it was alive, there was a tree. Right? This wood was a tree growing. But now is it going to grow? No. Why? Because it's dead. Well, what happened? Well, the soul left. The soul left this. So when there's no spirit soul, it's dead. And because I'm alive, I'm trying to bring this alive. I'm trying to add value. I'm saying this is worth $200. Right? I say, okay, I'm prepared to pay $200. I'm giving value to it. But if no one is prepared to buy it, what happens? It gets thrown in the garbage. Because no one's prepared to buy it. No one's prepared to give any value to it. So we're the ones creating value for this world. And it depends on us if we want to keep doing that, or if we want to get inspired for something else. So Krishna consciousness is giving us a different road, a different path to take. You have this road or that road. Which road are we going to take? This one leads to dead end, and this one leads to spiritual emancipation. So it just depends on us. We are the architect of our destiny. We decide what we want to do. And when you come here in Krishna consciousness to our temple and so forth, that we are very grateful that you did. We just try to inspire you in that, to read Bhagavad Gita, to chant Hare Krishna, to try to understand who Krishna is and what role Krishna will play in your life, and try to develop that relationship that internally exists with Krishna, but that is simply temporarily forgotten. And that is the perfection of human form of life. Because the animals, they sleep, they mate, they have little children, animals. So they eat, they sleep, they mate, they defend. But they cannot realize God. That is when a person comes to the human form of life. Atato Brahma Vidyasa, when he starts inquiring about spiritual life. Who am I? What am I doing here? What happens at the time of death? These are human questions. Eating, sleeping, the animals do that also. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And I'm always happy if you have questions. Yes? Well, Krishna is karana karam. He used to, like we give the example like a tree, and you have the roots of the tree, and although you don't necessarily see those roots, That's what you need to water. Because if you cut the tree from its roots, right? I don't know if you've ever tried that. You cut a branch of a tree to try to put in the water, and hopefully some trees, the roots will go, but 90% of the time that branch just dies, because the root's not there anymore. There's nothing sucking up the water up to the tree. So similarly, Krishna is the root of everything. So when we cut ourselves away from Krishna, we actually die. That's why people need to smoke pot and do all these crazy things to try to get a buzz, because they're so disconnected with reality.
What's that verse? Where's that verse from?
That's from Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Satya Radha Govindam Sarvakarana Parama.
What chapter text?
Well, that's only chapter 5.
Chapter 5.
Yeah, that's the only Brahma Samhitas that the Virgin Mary found in South America. Travel. Yes. Yes. How many gods?
Yes.
There's only one God. But in India, there are many demigods. So there's a difference. Just like you have a prime minister and many ministers, right? In Canada. So demigods are very in charge of the rain and all material things. The sun. So their personality is behind all of creation. It doesn't just happen by chance. But one who's superior to all that is Krishna. So although sometimes people think, oh, in Hinduism and so forth, there's so many gods and they worship so many gods. No. There are many representatives of God who are empowered to do things on behalf of God, but they're not God himself. There's only one God who's Krishna. Although Krishna does incarnate himself in many forms. Just like you, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're mad. So you don't transform yourself, but your mind transforms itself according to your mood. But when Krishna comes to enact his pastime, he actually transforms himself so that he's better suited for that. And also because the devotees want to see God in that particular form, in that relationship. So he's just that one God, but he manifests himself in many forms to please his devotees and to enact his wonderful pastimes. That good? Oh, thank you. Yes?
What is the purpose of using so many metaphors of the material world, traffic, buying a car, or things like that? Interpreting the text, referring directly to spiritual.
Well, the purpose is to help us get a better picture of what the philosophy is about. So we've experienced certain things in this world of buying cars and the emotions we've gone through and so forth and so on. So by giving these particular examples, I'm connecting with the audience more and making the text of the scripture a little bit more vibrant or understandable. So we give these particular analogies. They're like pictures that people can relate to. And they elaborate the philosophy. Because philosophy is sometimes a little abstract. And to get the subtlety of what the philosophy is trying to describe that we're not so familiar with, by giving practical examples that we've lived through day to day, then it resonates. Oh, yeah, I can relate to that. Or I've gone through that experience. So that's the reason.
But all these laws and reactions like exist within, let's say, a table, which is a tree, right?
Not clear. Maybe you have to elaborate. No, go ahead. Don't be shy. We appreciate questions. We love them.
For example, like, there would be like laws of Krishna that exist in like the flow of the water. Why it always heads in one direction and why it travels. These laws exist within like the ground or the atmosphere.
Well, yeah, the different, you could say the different energies or different laws of nature, they exist, and we discover these different laws that were already there, and we, pride ourselves that we've discovered, all these laws. But, I mean, these particular laws are necessary for creation to exist. Just Just like in society, we live in a society and there has to be laws, otherwise we'll just collide between each other, right? So there has to be a law of conduct when you drive a car, there has to be some laws, otherwise I can go through a red light and you're going through a green light and we just crash each other. So, and then I may drive on the left side and you're driving on the right side, so there has to be certain laws, right? Like here we drive on the right, in England, and in India they drive on the left. So you have to do that, you have to know that. I remember being in Bombay and I was looking at the traffic, oh, get no cars on the road. And I was like, oh man, I got to look on that side because they're driving on the opposite side of what I'm used to in Canada. So yeah, so all these laws are there to help us. And sometimes these laws assist us and sometimes they impact us. They inhibit our fulfilling our desires. Right? Just like if I have a desire to eat 10 plates, it's going to be difficult. Right? I may eat one, maybe two, but the law at one point limits my ability to eat. And if I eat like that constantly, then I'm just going to get fat and get diabetes. So that'll be another restriction, another problem. So that's why we have so many diets for the human beings, this diet, that diet, because there are restrictions, there's laws that are governing us. So when you understand these particular laws, it helps. But when you ultimately know why these laws are there, and who's behind those laws, and what he's trying to accomplish in having these laws, you get a better appreciation of everything. So you get a better appreciation even of the material world, because you understand, okay, this all belongs to Krishna, and this is what the intention of my being in the material world is for. I have this desire to be here, therefore I'm here. But now if I have a desire not to be here, then Krishna will also make the arrangement for me to leave. But that will be up to us, to how much we want to stay here or get out of here. Any other questions? So I will request you, whenever you come to the temple, because some of you are regular, please come with some questions. Read and find some questions. And even if when I used to come to the temple, I would read and I would forget. So the devotees told me, write your questions down like he did. Write your questions down on anything. And then we'll be more than happy to answer your question. Because I can speak here for an hour and not even reach you. But when you have a particular question, like this young lady did and he did, young man did, then I'm more specifically answering their intent or desires. And it has more meaning for them because it's something they were curious about. Otherwise I could just be speaking and I'm sure you're interested in what I'm saying, but if you bring questions, that will be very satisfying for me. So thank you very much. We'll all go and honor some wonderful prasadam. Srila Prabhupada, keep going. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. Now we take the
Thank